perfectly jammy and soft in the middle, and then that beautiful ring of soy sauce marinade on the outside. Whether you're putting these in your ramen noodle soup or you're just sprinkling them with a little bit of chili and eating them on their own, this is my guide on how to make soy sauce eggs. I love everything about ramen, but that little soy sauce egg that's often on top there, oh, I love that. I love how jammy and soft it is, and a little bit of technique just to get it perfect in my books. So let's get into that technique. Now, if you want to start off looking at these eggs, these are 60-gram eggs. So the measurements are important because that affects the timing of the cooking. And these have been in the fridge overnight. The reason I want them in the fridge is that I want that yolk part to stay a little colder than the white on the outside, because I want the white to set and I want the yolk to be kind of runny and jammy in the middle. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hole in the rounder bottom edge of the egg. So if you have a look at the egg, pointy at the top, round at the bottom. And if you've got a little needle, you can make a little pinprick. I don't have one, so I'm just using a knife, small knife, and just poke a little hole. Just tap, tap, couple of taps. And that basically is allowing, there's a little air pocket at the bottom here, and that's going to allow the air to escape when it hits the water. And that's good because it means that you'll get a round bottom and not a flat bottom, because otherwise that air pocket kind of expands with the heat. And the other thing is that then lets water into the shell in between the membrane and the shell, making it easier to peel. That's the theory anyway. So we're going to go with that. I do love this technique. It does seem to work a lot better than others. How many ways can you boil an egg? Lots of ways apparently. But I do find that this one works very well. Now you want your water boiling. It doesn't have to be a rapid boil, so whether it is boiling really fast or really slow, it's still going to be 100 degrees. So just a gentle boil is fine. Okay, and just gently place those eggs in there. So these eggs need 7 minutes. That's 7 minutes for a 60-gram egg. But for the first minute, minute and a half, I want you to swirl the water, creating a vortex. And that action will keep the yolk of the egg within the center of the egg, so it doesn't slide out to the side. It's going to give us a really perfect egg. Now while I'm doing this, I am a little rough with these eggs. I don't mind if they crack a little on the outside, because that just allows more water to kind of leak in between the shell and the membrane of the egg, making it easier to peel. Okay, so now the eggs need to go into some cold water or some iced water, just cold enough so that they will stop cooking. Just like to give them a little bit of time in there so that the hot egg kind of shrinks away from the outside shell. And now I like to go all over these eggs with a teaspoon and just give them a really good crack. And then back into the cold water. Okay, so now I always start at that bottom end and open up some of that shell. And you can see, if you take a look really closely here, that we've got a natural little gap that's formed between the egg and the shell. I just like to use my teaspoon and slide that in under the membrane and then pull off the shell. The things we do to get a perfectly peeled egg. It is very satisfying though. Oh, and just look at that, perfectly smooth. I can feel that it's still a little soft, which is just what we want. So now for the marinade. This one's really simple. Just want some soy sauce and some mirin, which is a sweet Japanese cooking wine. Now if you wanted to leave this alcohol free, you could just do the soy sauce and the water. You'd still get the beautiful color on the outside of the egg and that salty flavor. Let's give that a mix. And then in go the eggs. Now just to make sure we get an even color on these eggs, I'm going to add a little plate on the top. That's going to keep every part of that egg submerged in that beautiful soy marinade. Now I like to leave these overnight, but anywhere between 4 and 6 hours as well is good. Okay, so we're back and our eggs have had their little overnight rest in that soy sauce mixture. Let's take a look. Okay, I just like to dry them off on some paper towel. And now the moment of truth. Oh, they feel just slightly squishy, and let's slice one open. And there you have it. See our beautiful yolk right in the center there, and then that little jammy consistency, just a little runny through the center. Perfect. And I love to just add a little bit of chili powder, Japanese version. And I just love to add this little Japanese seasoning. I just sort of sprinkle that on top. And because they've sat in that soy sauce, they're actually really beautifully seasoned. So I don't find that I need any salt. And then I'm just happy to dig right in. Yeah. So simple. That yolk is so creamy. And then just the extra flavor that the sake and the mirin adds to the soy sauce. Just beautiful. Love it. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks guys.